I can be so OCD. I want to move my futon
You're
just
on already, OCD. We're live. We're all the way live. Hello, my name's Angelica Corral, and what in the world events and productions? And today we have an amazing guest. His name is Dean Hooley, and he's just written a book that has some wonderful information for children that will help parents. So I am going to be asking him some more questions because we want to get a look at him and see why why, hows, and whats of Dean Hooley, why he started on this quest. So did you want to talk a little bit about yourself, Dean, before we get started?
Oh my goodness. I talk too much about myself. I've been a salesman for all my life. No, so nice to see you, Angelica. I've actually been wanting to get this information out for a while. It's just something that's kind of been, I've been focusing on it for like 3 or 4 years now. And I kept thinking, well, how am I going to get the information out? I really was thinking about putting together a YouTube channel and just trying to keep doing it. And for some reason, it wasn't hitting with me. And I was
Mhm.
having a hard time finally deciding to do it. And then I saw some information people about being successful at writing books. And I thought, wait a minute, that would be a fantastic way to get this information out. Um,
Yes.
I joked earlier about being a salesman. So I'm actually a nuclear electrician by trade. You know what Homer Simpson did, just without the hair.
I could
Um,
see you right there in front of the controls.
yes, that unfortunately that is exactly what I did, except on a submarine instead of in a plant. But
Mhm.
then I got out of that and I went straight into sales, and I spent 23 years self-employed, dealing with a lot of different stuff. Quite often it had to do with people's finances, but traveling the country and selling all over the place. And then moved to California and having a lot of fun out here. Met a wonderful woman, and now I have a nice new family and keeping busy.
Yes, you have a beautiful wife. Jacqueline is quite she's quite a taker.
I'm a lucky man. I'm a lucky man. Yes.
You are. You are. Um, so let's get started with some questions. So who has had who's been the most profound impact on your life?
Well, it's funny. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche to say, but believe it or not, it's my parents, but for different reasons.
Mhm.
Um, my mother was just the most loving and caring person I've ever met. So I learned how to be affectionate from her. But my father was just absolute strict. You have to do what it takes to provide for the family.
Mhm.
And so I got my work ethic from him. I think he had been at his job for 28 years before he took a day off sick. And it was because one of his coworkers came up to him and said, "You're sick. You could get somebody else sick. You need to get out of here and go home."
Mhm.
That's what finally got him to take a day off.
Mhm.
So I kind of got my work ethic from him. And like I said, I got my caring and relationship all from my mother. So they really were the most influential people in my life.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm glad to hear that. You had a great upbringing. Parents have such a big influence on us, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So let's see. So how do you think you've changed over the past year? And what triggered your change?
Well, it's not just the last year, I guess the last couple of years, because I was at the position in my life to where I was considering just kind of taking it easy and semi-retiring. And I've been together with Jackie since 2018, and it made me want to forget retirement. I want to have a nice, robust, fun life like I did, for the last 20 years. And it made me really want to start working harder and get a lot more done, be a lot more productive. And now I'm changing even a little more because I am being very productive, but I'm realizing that I don't have as much time to spend with her and the kids as I would like. So I'm not getting to enjoy it with them. And so now that's one of the things that got me to say, look, you've been thinking about, getting this information out for a while. You finally got the idea of a book. You need to get this done and,
Uh-huh.
start helping people with this so that maybe then you can actually spend more time with the family. So it's the want to be able to spend the family time that finally got me the excess energy needed and focus needed to
Uh-huh.
start putting this all together.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So motivations. Let's talk about your motivations.
Well,
So,
that really is the biggest part of my motivations is
oh, really?
wanting to be able to spend the quality time. I've got a nice job, and I'm really excited about being able to put this out for people. Well, back to motivation for a second. Let me take a step back. So when I graduated college, I had a technical design degree.
Mhm,
And it's so funny that right when I graduate, one of the guys from the dorm said, "By the way, if you really want to be successful, all you have to do is try to find a way to help people."
mhm,
Oh my gosh, that was back in 1988, and I still can't forget those words. So I really focus on what can I do to help people. And then, of course, when I heard that from Zig Ziglar, if you want to be successful, help as many
mhm.
people as you can. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow. So that has been an incredible focus and motivation for me is just the most successful I've been in my entire life is just when I'm completely focused on helping others and not even thinking about what I need. And just all of a sudden, everything's going right. So that has been my motivation for a long time.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I and now with the internet and now you have your book, there's a way to motivate and help others, right? So
Right.
that's awesome. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about values and ethics. So what are your core values, Dean?
Well, the values, it really does come down to I want to be able to, my actions, I want to make sure that I'm helping as many people as I can
Mhm,
without actually hurting others. Because if you say, I just want to help this person no matter what, well, that could mean, crashing his neighbor's car, to get it out of the way. But no, the idea is helping as many people as you can, but without hurting others. Uh,
mhm.
and if I focus on that, then I'm always going to feel good about myself. So I've tried to make sure that my ethics all fall in line with those type of values. Is what I'm doing just helping me? Is it just helping somebody? Or is it, you can't always help everybody, but like I said, help the most amount of people you can without hurting others. So, I mean, that really is it. And trying to keep my ethics in to make sure that that's what I'm focused on.
That's awesome. Um, it's a commendable thing to do, thinking about how you could help others. All right. And I'm sure challenges and lessons along the way, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that. Let's get authentic here and talk about failures. What
Well,
what
it's funny that that's what you had just asked me, and then say failures. I'm not going to say a specific event,
uh-huh,
but it's a category, and what it comes down to is assuming that others have those same values and ethics.
mm,
Um, I mean, some people could call me naive or just too trusting, but I've been taken advantage of quite a few times in my life. That's why I said I'm not going to say any specific events because I'm not here to throw people under the bus. But there's
mhm,
been quite a few times that I've been taken advantage of because I assumed that others had the values or ethics that I had, and
mhm,
I got run over.
yeah,
Um, so it seemed like a Mack truck sometimes, but um, that really has been has caused a considerable amount of problems in the past,
mhm,
or my biggest failures sometimes. And the lesson that I really learned from that, though, is, and I don't even remember, this is something it's so normal, it's been tossed around so much, but people I don't think really even pay attention to the words. But listen or watch people's actions more then you listen to their words.
Mhm.
Because people can be telling you one thing and doing the exact opposite. And if you just keep focusing on their words, you don't realize that they're don't really have your best interest at heart. So learning to focus on what people do instead of what people say has made a big difference in my life.
Mm, that's awesome.
By the way, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that all my bad problems in life came from other people. Definitely not. I made my fair share of big mistakes, but a lot of the huge problems that I have come into in my life have come from assuming that other people were helping me and then me making bad decisions accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that because you wanna help people out and, and sometimes they don't have that same thing in their mind, right? Unfortunately. So, no, I think it's important to have those conversations, and but like you said, sometimes those conversations can go one way and actions speak louder than words, so, uh,
Definitely.
yeah. So it's good that we all realize that we all have different values and different ethics, and it's good to learn. You could usually see by how people treat other people,
Mhm.
what their values and ethics are, right?
Well, I
And
don't know if you hear people say that. Watch how so and so treats the waiter, or watch how
yeah,
they treat the or the maids or servants, or not servants, so it's, the maids or whatever.
uh
Watch how people treat everybody, not
uh
just treat their boss.
absolutely. I agree totally. So, thank you for that. Wonderful, wonderful things to learn about you, my friend. So, emotional intelligence. How do you handle stress or difficult situations? We all have stress and difficult situations, and we could either calm down or blow up, or what do you do?
Well, that's why I drink. No, just kidding. Um, I
Uh,
actually had a real hard time for that for a long time. Um, I was quite often in different situations considered the supposedly emotional stable person,
uh-huh.
um, compared to my surroundings. And I did grow up in a situation, even though it was loving and caring,
Mhm,
we didn't talk about emotions.
mhm,
So I did have a problem with letting it all bottled up.
mhm,
And so finally realizing that I needed to be able to talk about my feelings and being able to share what was going on and making sure. It's so funny that I've spent more time in the last 10 years getting rid of people in my life,
mhm,
is realizing that surrounding myself with good quality people makes a huge difference in that. So having them there as more of an emotional structure as well as, support for everything.
mm,
Um, but so, even learning to talk to professionals
mhm.
as well as, being more open with the people that are close to me about my feelings and what's going on instead of just bottling everything up. So talking to more, like I said, more to the people around me as well as talking to professionals has just made a huge difference in me being able to handle stress 1,000 times better, than I used to.
I just realized we have a lot of friends up that are listening in, and they chimed in with some comments, and I'm gonna
You're not alone. What?
no, you are not alone. We have Bro Charlie Lewis. He says this.
Okay, your screen locked up, so I can't hear you. I'm not sure if there's anything I need to do, but I'm still here.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, now I can hear you. Yes, you're.
Okay, it
Oh,
came
there
in,
you are.
came back. Okay, so let's see.
I'm not sure if that was locked up for everybody or if it was I just couldn't see you or hear you.
mm, I think that the Wi-Fi kind of worked against us. Let's see. Hey, wonderful lady from Jacksonville, Florida. That's my friend Philip. So Philip is also a veteran. So you
Oh,
guys are
good.
two veterans, and you guys definitely need to connect here on LinkedIn. So you can he's a good guy. We got a lot of nice people here on LinkedIn. So Kelly
I,
says that, go ahead, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say I spent a bunch of years in Florida. I was in Clearwater, Florida, and I still have a sister in Gainesville.
Oh, nice, nice. Let's see. We have Kelly Williams. She says, I agree, Dean. I think maybe when you were talking about um, em- emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
And Bro Charlie Lewis says, having an unhardened heart hurts sometimes. And
Hmm.
that makes so much sense, Charlie. So agree with you. And Juan Manuel Nova says, hi, Juan Manuel. And Kelly says, ha ha. And Philip says, emotional intelligence is a superpower. And he also says, be aware of who you choose to spend your time with. Yes.
Exactly.
And Kelly says, as a Gen Xer, this talking about emotions new for me. Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Hmm. Like I said, it was not, we didn't talk about stuff like that.
Yeah. I think, but now that we could talk about things like that, it makes life so much better, right?
Absolutely.
Ah, Nelson from Nigeria says, greetings, greetings from Nigeria, greetings from California, Nelson.
Greetings, greetings.
And Philip says, warrior to love helps veterans and first responders heal what no uniform ever could. The
Warrior
emotional,
to love.
yeah, I think he either wrote the book or is in the process of writing it, because I remember I had interviewed him before, and he says first responders heal what no uniform ever could. The emotional wounds we carry in silence. We transform the warrior mindset from survival mode into a life of purpose, love, and connection. It's not about fixing broken people. It's about helping strong leaders rediscover who they are so they can thrive in their families, their careers, and their communities.
Oh, wow,
So,
that's fantastic.
yeah, thank you for sharing that, my friend. Let's see. Badmus Rashid says, "What what do you do, Dean?"
As little as possible. No. Um, like I said, after a 23-year sales career, I had some major surgery back in 2016 and took some time off. And I didn't know what I wanted to do when I had to get back to work after a year of not doing anything except sitting in bed. I decided to be a truck driver. So I've been driving for the last few years, which is so crazy for me. So to go from 23 years being self-employed to all of a sudden being an employee for the first time since since I was 20, I think. Um, so that's why I'm excited also about writing the book and actually, working for my own self instead of just doing something for the boss anymore. But I'm enjoying being a truck driver. I am the toilet paper guy sending toilet paper to Costco.
Well, we all need that.
Yes.
So let's see. Bro Charlie says that emotional content is key in the arts. And Philip says what he does is podcast. So maybe you could join Philip and be on his podcast. You're a veteran,
That
and you
would be
guys
nice.
help each other out. So make sure you connect. Everybody, please connect with each other, because we never know if we who we can help or who could help us, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
So let's see. I'm loving all these comments. And I'm so glad that everybody made it today. And this is going to be replayed so you could see it again. So thank you so much. Maybe we could even bring some of our guests or some in the audience in to ask questions if they want to towards the end.
Okay.
But it's up to you. But let's see. We were talking about emotional intelligence. So and you talked about some of the strategies that you use, right?
Yes.
So a legacy. If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
I would like people to, if anytime they think of me, just to be happy that I was in their life, because either I don't care whether it was just bring a smile to their face or cheer them up when they were unhappy, or if they knew that if they needed anything, they could count on me. Just to know that I was a positive influence in their life.
Oh, that's awesome. We all want to be that, right? I think that's a honorable thing to be. Yes. And uh, what about superpower? We were talking about superpower and earlier that
I think if
emotional
I,
intelligence.
I think if I had a superpower, I'd like to be able to fly, because maybe it would get me over my fear of heights, um, which is crazy because I'm also a pilot. I know I haven't flown an airplane in 30 years, but I am a pilot. But maybe, yeah, maybe if I could fly, I wouldn't be so scared of heights.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that about you. Let's see, we
Nope,
learn
yeah, I don't
more.
talk about it very often, although I actually still have, obviously people wouldn't know this, but when you go on your first solo flight, um, your instructor then, so I've got a piece of t-shirt cut up on my wall over here that says Dean Hooley solo to Cessna 152, July 29th, 1982. So when you
Uh-huh.
do your first solo flight, they cut off the back of your t-shirt and write that on it. So yes, I learned to fly back, back when I was 16.
Oh wow.
Well, it
That's
helps when your father's an airline pilot and he gets his pilot's instructor's license.
oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So
Although I am the only one of the three. My brother and sister were given the option also, and I don't think they had more than one lesson.
do you think it was because of fear of heights?
No, fear of commitment and and, and effort.
There you So let's see,
um,
go ahead. I'll mention the comments after you're going to say something else.
I was just thinking when you're talking, it almost seems like a superpower, but being self-employed for 23 years, one of the things that I realized, and I've had people sometimes ask me, what's the different mentality between, and this is very general, obviously, not everybody's like this, but an employee mentality as opposed to a business owner mentality. The employee mentality, when they leave work, they can shut their phone off. If the business burns down, they'll find out the next day. They don't need to know. The business owner, if you get a call at 2 a.m, you better answer it, because something might have gone wrong that has to be taken care of. So the business owner mentality has to be, you got to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's something that I got used to focusing on my entire life then, is it doesn't matter how much work has to be done. If
Mhm,
there's a goal that has to happen, you just do whatever it takes to get that done.
mhm.
And I learned to focus on that. Like I said, I became self-employed in 89. Oof, long time ago. And I did, I was pretty successful because I did that. I got the job done. I didn't look at, oh, well, how hard is this going to be? I just did it and then went, oh gosh, how'd I do that?
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead and read the comments, please.
No, no. We're having a conversation and reading comments. It's okay if you mention that. Let's see. Kelly also says, "I'm sure there is a lot of opportunity as a truck driver. meeting people and sharing experiences.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hmm.
Mhm. That's the beauty of that. Oh, Ashankari. She's one of our neighborhood house association parents, and she is doing a wonderful job on the policy council. What she does is she shares what parents from the different sites, what their ideas and their decision making is, and she brings that information to the board. And she's also a doctor, so
Wow.
yeah, so she mentioned that networking and building a community always helps.
Yes.
Isn't that the truth?
Hmm.
Wow, I love everybody's comments, and I see Philip, he says, "We need to connect." See, I told you, Dean.
Absolutely.
Uh, and Bro Charlie says, "We learn something new every day." Absolutely.
I don't know if you've ever heard that quote. Thomas Edison said most people die at the age of 26. It just takes us a lot longer to bury them because most people stop learning by the age of 26.
Oh, wow. No, we gotta keep learning. I think when you stop learning and when you stop laughing, life is, pretty much over, right? I
Right.
think I think that's what makes life so much fun is learning new things. So, I'm so thankful for everybody's comments and, wonderful shares today. Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming because I love learning about everyone, and, we can always connect and help each other out in many ways here. So, uh regrets and changes. Let's talk about that. If you could go back in time and change one decision, I got two fingers up. Let me just put one and change one decision. Uh, what would it be and why?
I've made some big mistakes in my life that have made, obviously big changes. Um, but I'm actually the type of person that I wouldn't go back and change a thing because I like who I am. I definitely need to be, get better and try to, get better every day. There's a lot of things I still want to, keep improving on myself, but I like who I am and I like the people around me. And I'd be afraid if I changed anything that I wouldn't be with these people now. So I wouldn't change anything.
Inter- interesting. So, what do you consider your personal strengths? What do you love most about yourself, and why?
Um, One of the biggest things is because of the fact that I care so much about helping others. Um, but I don't something that I don't know if it's something that I just worked on over the years or if it's something that I got lucky with um, being able to do. But how do you say this without sounding silly? Um, I'm a member of the High IQ Society,
Are
but
you
when I
talking about Mensa?
yes, I'm a member of Mensa. Yes, most people don't even know what it is, so I don't even say the name anymore. Um, but instead of using a bunch of big words, I like to think when I learn something, and this was something that I learned a long time ago. If you think you know something, try to explain it to somebody else, and you'll realize how well you really know it. And I took that to heart, and I got to where I really wanted to learn things well enough, and then break them down to where they were easy to explain to others. And I've gotten to the point to where I absolutely love teaching. I love being able to, and I unfortunately know I don't want to, go be a teacher in high school or junior high or whatever. Um, but that's part of the reason why every time I've been in sales or, worked with sales over the last 23 years, that I ended up, even if I didn't try to, I ended up being either an instructor or a manager somehow.
Mhm,
So I ended up doing all the hiring and training. I even had to create a bunch of sales training materials because
mhm.
I really enjoy figuring something out and figuring it out in a way that I can explain it to others easily, make it understandable
Mhm.
for most people. And when you see the light in their eyes that it goes off, that they're like, oh, I get that now. And they can
Mhm.
now do something that they couldn't do before, or they fix a problem that they couldn't fix. That just gives me an incredible amount of enjoyment. So that's just something that I love. And like I said, I don't know if I learned that over time or if I just got lucky with being able to explain things well, but that's just something I really feel good about. My ability to be able to take some information and be able to teach it to others.
I think part of it comes with you wanting to be helpful because people can have a lot of information, but the way that they explain it might not be too helpful, but you
I've
because
run
you
into
wanna be helpful
that.
because you wanna be helpful, you don't use the big words, right? You make it simple,
Right,
right?
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know all those big words and know what most of them mean, but uh, that doesn't help quite often.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it alienates people, right? Because they're like, what does that mean?" But,
Yes.
that's very kind. So, I'm sure that you have future aspirations, and one of those aspirations is sharing your book with everybody. So,
Yes. So
but
I,
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
well,
And
the really
what's
cool thing is that,
mhm,
so I have this written already,
mhm,
and I actually have the rough draft of the manuscript for the next book already written.
mhm,
I say rough draft because it's got a ways to go, but I do have the rough draft already written. Um,
mhm,
I want to be a full-time author and be able to stop doing the truck driving. So I'm not looking to quit work, but I want to be able to spend time at home writing,
mhm,
and then that way I can actually, have a good quality life and spend the time that I want with my family while
mhm,
still focusing on, using the books to be able to, for my creative energy and being able to use that for creativity and for teaching others, and have that be able to take over for the truck driving.
yay! I see Lisa's come into the room. She says, "Hi, everyone." And it looks like Philip's really paying attention to you. He says, "We really need to talk."
Send me a message
Life
right away.
he says, "Life is about caring for others to make it simple." So,
Yes,
yeah, definitely DM, Dean and connect and follow, guys. So,
absolutely.
uh, where would if somebody needed to get your book, where would they find it?
So right now it's only on Amazon, although it's about to be. I'm waiting for the approval for several other places for it to be sold. But right now, as a matter of fact, I'm even doing something to build up the sales and get as many reviews as I can. Um, the ebook, it's for sale, ebook, paperback, and hardcover on Amazon.
Mm,
But I have it
mhm.
on sale on the ebook for only 99 cents to try to get it out to a bunch of people. I'll
Mhm.
probably keep it there for the next week before it goes up to regular price. Um, but Amazon is the only place at this moment. And like I said, it will be out within the next couple of weeks in other places.
Nice, nice. That's an excellent deal. 99 cents and that's only for this week, so make sure. Do you have a link for that or
Well,
is that out
I
yet?
actually I stopped doing the link, and I hate to say this is why. What I didn't realize is I put together the link,
Mhm,
but the link, if you have the app on your
mhm,
phone, the
mhm,
link takes you to the app, and you
mhm.
can't buy an ebook on the app. You have to go to Amazon.com to buy the
Mm,
ebook. So when I told people that I have it on sale, I said, look, then what you do is you make sure you go to Amazon.com, not the app, and
mhm,
search personal finance for kids ebook, and then my last name, Hooley. And if you do
mm.
that, the ebook pops right up and it'll show for 99 cents.
Well, we're gonna need to put that in the comment section so people know where to go.
I hate to
Right?
say, oh, wait, here we go. I had not done that before. Here, I'll type that, what I just said.
Okay. In the meantime, well, we still have some extra time. So if anybody would like to come and join the audience, from the audience wants to come up to the stage, you are welcome to come and join us and ask Dean some more questions, or you might want to comment or share about what you're doing and also how you help others. So this has been a really great conversation. Enjoyed this. So I don't see anybody making any comment about coming on up to the stage. Maybe they might be in the middle of doing something. But let
And
me.
I am trying to, I have to connect this for me to be able to type it into the chat. So I apologize.
No worries, no worries. So I'm looking here for LinkedIn, and I'm looking at the chat here on LinkedIn as well, which is here on StreamYard. So I'm gonna see if there is any that we can add. Okay, so
Angelica, I am going to text what I just said to you because it's just spinning, and not letting me log in to be able to add to the chat.
oh, okay. If you are the best too, my friend. Okay, I'm gonna look at my text messages and I'll just copy
Yeah.
and paste it. Yeah. Let me see if there are any other messages that I might have missed. We have quite a few comments, so that's great. Oh, Tere Igareda says, Felicidades, Angelica, which is congratulations. I got to congratulate you, Dean, for your book. So
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. Mm-hmm. Kelly, okay.
Right, I just sent that to you. Oh, I should have wrote also on sale for 99 cents.
You got to put until when too, right?
Oh. Yes, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Until next Sunday.
That's why it's Sunday.
Yes, so the 20th.
Uh,
Sale until.
okay, I'm going to put this in the comments. Edit, copy. We're just multitasking here, guys.
Yes,
Don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's still spinning for some reason. Like I said,
That's okay.
I haven't used this StreamYard before, so it's trying to connect to. It says I have to connect to YouTube in order to be able to join the chat, and it's not.
Okay, so you're on the Google link.
Yes.
I'm doing it from LinkedIn.
So yeah, it's not. So it's not allowing me to do it. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm putting it on LinkedIn so that everybody that
thank you
can look this up on LinkedIn. You could later on put it in the chat also when you get onto YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's still spinning. It was exciting though. I did not realize, and it's funny because even after I got the book done, and I'd be working, and my wife would be like, "What are you doing? I thought you got the book finished." And I said, "Well, yeah, I got it finished, but now I got to do this. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this." And she's like, "Oh, I thought you just finished it. You don't have to do anything." Just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I got.
There's always something to do, huh?
Right. It did help though, since I spent that 23 years being self-employed, like I said, knowing that you don't just say, okay, I've been told to do this one task. You figure out everything that needs to be done. You don't sit and wait and be told what to do. You figure out everything, and there's a lot of extra background stuff when you're the boss or the owner. There's always extra fun stuff to do.
Okay. I was just reading the comments. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? Let me be present.
No, just saying how there's always, like I said, when you're the boss, there's
Oh, there's
always
more to.
some stuff to do. You don't just sit back and wait for someone to tell you, go do this. You figure out
Uh-huh,
what needs to be done and do it.
uh-huh. Well, sometimes people tell you, "Where's this at?" Like, look at Kelly, she says, "I'm podcast ready, not video ready." That's okay, we could do podcasts without the video too.
Yeah,
Kelly says, "I love
I've been
the
told I
link."
have a great face for radio.
You have an ebook, right? For radio. Oh my goodness, you are funny. Kelly says that she loved the link for the ebook. So we put that in the comments, right?
Now remember, I couldn't put it in the comments.
Yeah, I put it in the
So
comments.
you did put it there. Good. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. So you didn't put a link, you put the description of how to get there, right?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah. And you said it was Kelly that said that?
Yes, Kelly.
So just to mention again, I don't know if you heard me before, Kelly. I don't have an actual link to the ebook because what I found is that I do have a link that I had created, but when people click on it, if they have the Amazon app, instead of taking them to Amazon.com, it takes them right to the Amazon app, and you can't buy an ebook on the app. You actually have to go to Amazon.com to buy an ebook. So although yes, I do have the app, I mean the link, I didn't put it there because that happens unfortunately. Because I didn't even realize that right away until I had a bunch of friends who said I want to get that book, but it says not available when I click on the link you have in it, and then I finally realized they were going to the app.
Okay. Kelly says, "Thanks so much. I was very interested in this topic for my children." So awesome.
I'm really happy to hear that. And when I decided I had thought about writing a book for a while too, and there were many different subjects because being self-employed for so long, a lot of information that I want to be able to share. But realizing how little children are taught about this subject in the schools drove me batty. And it's just, I was like, oh my gosh, they don't do this. They don't do this. They don't know this. They don't know this. And that's really what made me push everything else aside and say, this has got to be the first thing I write a book about.
Mhm.
Because it's just, you feel strongly about something when it pops into your head on every conversation. You're talking about the color of the wall, and all of a sudden you think, oh, my book could help. No, just kidding. But I'm exaggerating. But yes, it's just amazing how I really wanted to share this, with so many people because of wanting to give this information to my kids. It's fun to know that I've opened bank accounts even for our 9-year-old, and even our 9-year-old has an IRA. So teaching them all about finance has been fantastic.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that stuff for my son as he was growing up. And I know you could even get them credit card ready once, even as a child, as a
Yes.
infant, right?
That's the next step that we are going to do. So obviously they don't go apply for credit, but we have one specific credit card that we're going to add the kids' names to just
Mhm,
for that one card, because
mhm.
just having them, even as just signers on the card, it
Yes.
builds their credit, even though it's not their official card.
Mhm.
So yes, that would be the next thing that we're doing. We were just excited to get all the bank accounts set up and get the IRA set up and everything. A lot of fun. Yeah, it's so important of a subject. It's like, how can you not teach this in schools? How can you just assume that the parents have all the information? I want to share something about that real quick. This just popped into my head.
Sure.
I tried
Absolutely.
when I first got the book done, and I was talking to people at work about the book and asking people, because the book is written for children ages 8 to 12.
Mhm.
And so I asked people, does anyone have kids 8 to 12? And I told them what the book was about. And after a couple of minutes, one woman she raised her hand and she goes, I got a question for you. I don't have any kids, but would you mind giving me the book? And I said, well, sure. You have like a niece or nephew or something? And she goes, no. To be blunt, I was told absolutely nothing about personal finance growing up. She's 30 years old. And she said, sure, I'm living. I'm not, not a stupid person, but I was told absolutely nothing. Do you mind if I read the book? And so I got her the book that day. 4 days later, I got a text from her saying, oh my God, I learned so much. All this information, I don't care if it was written for a child. I had none of this information or very little of it. So thank you very much. And I can't wait till, I can actually put a review. So it felt good.
Yay!
Yeah, felt really good getting that text. Yeah.
So it's not only good for children, it's good for adults too. And there's a lot of adults here on LinkedIn.
I've told several people, I said, look, don't think of it. Ignore the fact that it's written for kids, just because you don't have information doesn't mean you're stupid, and doesn't mean you have to go to a specific spot to get that information. So sometimes you can get good information from places you might not think. So even from a kid's book, because obviously it's not just written to entertain, although we have to make it entertaining and something to keep their attention, but it is made with good information. So that's the whole goal, is to teach them actual life skills, right? Sorry, I'll go on and on about how excited I am. Like I said, it's not just the writing of the book, it's knowing that I feel good about this information getting out there.
No, it's good that you mentioned that. We want to hear that. We want to hear that, how you feel about it. And
just to let you know, because you had mentioned earlier about how in the future, I mentioned that I do obviously want to be able to be a full-time author. So that next book will be to go along with this one. This book does mention even about investing. Obviously, it's very simple terms, but the next book will go, even written for children, will go much more in depth about investing for kids.
Awesome. That's wonderful. So we're excited about the part 2. And Kelly, so I did put a comment in the link. It's probably the first comment there under the event today, under the event for today. So if you want, you could direct message me or Dean, and we could personally send it to you.
Yes.
Well, not the link, but what it is.
The information about how to get there.
Yeah, the information how to get there. Now, we have a few people that were in the room, Bro Charlie, and I just want to say thank you for joining us, Bro Charlie. He's a poet, and let's see, I think he's also written some books himself. But we're glad that you joined us. Also, Kelly, I'm glad that you made it today because it's nice to hear your comments and what your thoughts are, because we want to make this program something that is tailored for you, and something that you could benefit from. So very thankful that you were able to make it, Kelly. And also Arisha, thank you for coming out. Just did a video of her, and I just can't wait to show it, because it highlights what she does as a parent at her.
Sorry, that was me.
That's okay. What she does at the sites here, and so thankful for you. Kelly's also, she helps women and business, and helps women with honoring lives and business since 2017. And she's from Cleveland. I got some friends from Cleveland as well. So let's see if there's any more questions or any more comments. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't touched on?
Just in case you can't find that in the link, I had sent that to you in 3 different texts. I
Uh-huh.
retyped it, so if you want to put that back in the chat again, so if you can just copy
Oh,
and
okay. So it's just all in one.
it's all in one, so so you don't have 3 different ones. Yes,
All for one and one for all, like the Three Musketeers,
exactly.
right? All right, let's see. Let's do that. I'll
Thank you
copy.
guys for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. It's our pleasure that you came to share something like this. It's always good to learn something. And I now that you mentioned about how it's not only for children but for adults, I'm going to definitely into it myself. Why not? Right?
I almost put for kids and beginners, but I didn't when I was thinking about writing it. But then I realized some people might not, if I specifically say and for beginners, they might not like the fact that it's, obviously leaning towards talking to kids. So,
Uh-huh.
um,
Well, you could always when you talk about it here on LinkedIn, mention that. So this isn't the first time. There'll be some more times that we could talk about this,
good.
in other words. So let's see if there's anybody else who has any comments for today. Let's see. And if not, then you could contact Dean here on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yes.
Oh, my friend Michelle's here too. She says, we all have an inner child, and we love our inner child. You're right about that.
I've
Uh,
learned to let him out, and I think I have to actually get that shirt that says, um, "It wasn't my fault. I was unsupervised."
that's definitely the child in you.
Yes.
Let's see. We have a few more comments. Badma says it's my pleasure to meet you guys, and Michelle says so late to the party, but look forward to team replay. Yay! Glad that we could replay it, right? And Badmus wants to know, when is your next live? My next live is going to be April 27th. And we're going to be talking about how to grow your business here on LinkedIn. So make sure you come and join us and learn. Might be able to
Excellent.
come up in the audience as well. So
Excellent.
So you have any more comments, Dean? I'm excited about this amazing book that you have, and I love that you have this enthusiasm and that you really have an interest. You care about people, you care about kids, and I think the earlier they learn, the more focused
Excellent.
they could be, right?
That's part of it, and I'm trying not to just keep going on, but that's part of it. If they get the information and it's understandable and not confusing, so that they don't end up having things that hold them back from
Mhm,
money and finances. Sometimes just because of a little bit of confusion, you can end up trying to stay away from that subject altogether and then end up having problems in life because of it, just because of not having a little bit of understanding to begin with. So
mhm,
if the next generation is much more financially savvy and secure, just for the reason of they have more information earlier,
mhm,
that they don't have any of those mental hurdles to have to jump through, then that's
mhm.
fantastic, and then that'll just make me, the happiest person in the world.
Yay! And make them happy too because they have more confidence. They can they're once they're more comfortable with the subject, right? You get confident and you can end up learning more. So I really enjoyed uh this time here with you. Thank you so much for joining What in the World Events and
Thank you for having me.
Productions. Uh-huh. And
Nice to meet you all
Charlie
in the chat.
and Charlie says this is a real mastermind. So thank you for that, bro Charlie. Appreciate that. So looking forward to seeing you on our next live, and make sure that you check out Dean Hooley's book. It's 99 cents until April the what date?
Next Sunday, that's the 20th, I think.
Oh yes, that's the 20th.
Yeah. So there you go. All
And
excited.
oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, show us your book.
Yeah. So it is, like I said, I've got the ebook on sale.
Uh-huh.
But then we do still have the paperback and the hardcover.
Uh-huh.
But I'm really like promoting the ebook just to get it out to as many people as possible, very inexpensively. And then please, if you do get it on sale, just please do me the favor of writing me a review. Not only do I want to know that you read it, I really want your honest opinion. Did I miss something? Were there other things? Because like I said, I've got a rough draft of the next book already written. So if there's things that you can think of, my kid really liked this, but it'd be nice if they knew this, or just, if you have any ideas, just truthfully let me know what you thought about the book. I look forward to reading them.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. So appreciate our time here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. And we're going to call the show. We're going to very much, Dean. And goodbye,
Thank you for having me.
everybody. Love you all.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.